Okay, we're back on this Italian valve, the assembly part of it. I've already collected the seals. Okay, I popped this relief valve out. You always want to check these. I got a new O-ring on it. I'm going to put that on. You always want to take a look at this. Make sure, do an inspection. New O-ring on here. Just make sure there's nothing stuck in here. And make sure, you don't see anything. Sometimes taking these out had wire pieces stuck in there, all kinds of stuff. But check that. We'll put that back in. I got a little. Let's grease this O-ring just a little bit here. Always lube your O-rings up. Okay, so now collected the new O-rings. I'll put a little bit of red grease in here to kind of hold these O-rings and these metal keepers in there. Okay, so I'll pop the O-rings in. Takes 4 per each section. Okay, and then you're going to take your metal keepers that we got out of there and you're going to install those in there. Use a little extra grease in this, because those things will fall out. So we'll just kind of make sure we get that in there. Kind of use it as a glue. Okay, got that one. Now let's get the other section, get it done first. I flushed these out in the solvent tank. Okay, I'm going to put a little extra grease in these things. When I stand it up, I don't want it to fall out. Or, if something gets off a little bit, it'll like pinch the O-ring when we slap these together. You don't want that. Pop that in there. Let's make sure everything's sitting down good. Okay, so stand that up, make sure they don't fall out. Stand that one up. Okay, we know that goes. Let's clean these out, the surfaces off a little bit. So we're going to come over here, double check all the O-rings, all the metal keepers. Push that one up. Check this side. Okay, so we'll try to get this kind of started. lined up first. So you want to make sure that you don't start just hand tighten this. That way we know those are in there. We don't want to hammer this down until I get the spool in there. Let's put this through, get it lined up. Okay, just get the finger tight for right now. Okay, so now I go to this spool, and you can see that it's just an O-ring. I've got 2 new O-rings. Now on the back of it, we're not going to take the D10 apart here. I'm going to slip this O-ring over and just work it real easy because there's sharp edges. Work it down over the spool. Get it down to the back. Let's put a little grease on it. Take a look at that, how it's just sitting there. We're going to push that in. That way, when we push the spool through, that O-ring will seat right there. That's when the spool shifts. And you'll see that this configuration here, that you got that curve. That's why I took the picture, because I want to see which way that went. So I'm going to look on my phone. That's why I said, which way did that go when it came off? Well, you can tell the curves up here, but that's the reason you take the picture, because you may not work on this thing for a week. So I want to lightly lube this spool a little bit, and then if you want it to slip in, real easy. You don't want to force it. It should go in fairly smooth. There, just like that. Okay. I'm going to push that right in. Start these. Then when this is all done, we'll bench test it, pressure check it. You don't want to get all heavy-handed with this impact. Okay, so you can see that back there. Now what I'm going to do is now what you do, to get this other O-ring in, you're going to take the other O-ring, you're going to work that in, the front side. You're going to fit it in by hand. Use your pick to work it in there and seat it. with your hands. Like so. And then you look at this, it's got the, this will finish pushing the O-ring in. I remember this was like that. You slide that over the top. So it's really not that big a deal. You just need a kind of a bench where you can work on this. And you know, even if you got the seal kit from your dealer or whatever, you could do this yourself. You have them, someone else do it, you're going to have to pay, like having me do it. But, you know, I'm dealing with some big companies. They want it done, and, you know, they want it checked out so they don't have any problems. Okay, so there you go. Now, the other thing is I got this pin. Remember the pin? Put that on, and then the little snap ring. But, you know, if you were doing this and you let it sit for a week, you may forget. Or one of your guys did it and he wasn't there, so you had to come back and put it together, but he scattered all the parts all over the place and you're not sure. Okay, so we're going to put that on. So the last thing is to tighten up the body, and then it'll go for a test on the bench. So this is a 15/16. You want it, when you tighten this down, you want to make sure you're on a flat table and don't tweak the valve. Oops. Do a cross pattern on it. Okay, so basically that's it. Now we'll go to the test bench, pressure check it, make sure there's no leaks, and then we'll paint it up, and then they'll put a green tag on it. Let's take this red tag off because red means bad. We'll put a green tag on it. So that's into that one. That's the assembly. Stand by.